Now, as we continue to look at expectations ahead of the State of the Nation address tonight, let's bring in SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip. Good afternoon, Bulelani. Now, we understand you're now joined by the president of Isuzu Motors, I suppose, to get a sense of what the private sector is looking to hear from the president today.
Thanks and welcome back again, Fundo, and to the viewers. Basically, there's a lot of interest from business as well in terms of the economic direction of the country and how government is going to assist the private sector in terms of flourishing in whatever sectors they are working in. I'm going to jump straight into it and bring in Mr. Billy Tom, the president and CEO of Isuzu. Firstly, sir, at a broader level, as business, are you happy with the direction that the president is taking in terms of firstly restoring the economy as well as making sure that there is sufficient economic growth for job creation?
Thanks a lot, Bulelani, and good afternoon to the viewers. We are happy, but we need to put more horsepower. I think the rest of the world is moving faster than us. If we can put more horsepower, but the collaboration between business and government has been good, but we need to drive it a lot faster.
From an automotive sector perspective, what kind of support systems would you want from the government, particularly in the context of all of these economic reforms?
I think firstly, it's around policy certainty. We want to have a visibility beyond 2035. We're looking forward for APDP3. Currently we're on APDP2, but APDP3. We want to hear from him that the auto sector is still strategic for government. Also, we need to ensure that we get policy certainty so that we can invest, because these cycles take quite longer. I mean, the auto sector is quite big for the economy. Secondly, we want to hear generally about trade as well as AGOA. If you think of AGOA, we've dodged a bullet, but it's only for 12 months. What happens after 12 months? We need to hear what are the plans if AGOA is cancelled after 12 months. Then NEVs. What support are we going to get from government around NEVs? We need to understand localization of NEVs, because we've got the critical minerals. How do we localize them? How do we roll out the infrastructure for chargings so that people have confidence in NEVs? Around Transnet and logistics, we need to ensure that those reforms that have been promised are speeded up, because the cost of doing business in South Africa is escalating. Around energy and that predictability of the cost, because if you look at the energy, I think we're now out of load shedding, but the cost of energy is very high, and our smaller suppliers are battling with it. We need to manage the costs of electricity, which has become an inhibitor for some of the smaller businesses. So we're looking forward to hearing from them, spelling those on our behalf.
A political debate that is ongoing from the far left lawmakers would be, why should government be giving big business incentives when big business has not come to the party in terms of ensuring that they stick or they observe these labor plans in the communities that they work in?
I think if I talk on behalf of the automotive sector, we are one sector that created a transformation fund. To give you an idea, we've already spent 800 million empowering smaller business players. I mean, what the targets we agreed with government, we've already exceeded them. We didn't even agree about women playing a role, but in that 800 million, 30% of those businesses are women-owned. We agreed that in 10 years, we will open 90 businesses, but year to date, I think we are on year 5 now, we've already opened 81 businesses versus 90 over 10 years. And so we've done a lot, but also if you look at the auto sector is playing a key role for South Africa. It's quite a big export driver for the country. So we need that support, because we are competing with some of the businesses we're competing with are getting support from their governments. If you look at what is some of those that have been brought into the country, it just makes sense. But also it's a big benefit for government because of the skills, but also the level of employment. I mean, the total auto sector, manufacturing alone is 115,000. If you add the retail and others, that number gets to 500,000. So it's quite a big sector that government cannot neglect.
So you do have expansion plans as Isuzu. You don't want to leave the country. You are quite happy to do business in South Africa.
If you look at, I had my State of the Nation earlier than the President. Hopefully he's taken note of it. We've got big plans for the continent. What we sell as Isuzu Motors, what we build as Isuzu Motors is sold in the continent. Our focus is the African continent. We've got expansions. In November, we opened up a 750 million supply facility, which is Black African female owned. And that investment was 740 million as a result of the collaboration between us as a private sector, the government through entities like IDC. We're looking forward to building a stronger footprint in the continent, but also we are busy studying an additional SUV which we want to produce in South Africa. So we're here to stay.
All right, thank you so much. The proof will be in the pudding, and all the best there in your expansion plans. That is Billy Tom, the President and CEO of Isuzu South Africa. On that note, Mfundo, we go back to you in studio.
All right, Bulelani, thank you very much for that reportage. That's SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip out at the parliamentary precinct, of course, ahead of the State of the Nation address this evening. And you'd have heard the Isuzu president saying they have big plans for the continent of Africa.